You got your headphones on there. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, but I'm having to press these go live buttons continuously. I don't know if it says we're live, but good morning and welcome to Talking Ball. I'm joined by Steve O'Hare. We have no Joe this morning. That's why we're late and fumbling around, as he's our technical whiz kid. And I don't even know if we're actually live at the moment. I think we are. We've got a little tick next to YouTube, so we'll assume that all's good in the hood. A bit lively this morning, Steve, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's all. I've just seen us. We are live. I'm going
to share the link.
Yeah, I'm sharing the link now. So if you carry on chatting.
Okay. So a bit of news over the weekend. Let's just get it up. So well, obviously Brexit is ongoing and looks like it will continue at least into today. They couldn't come to any agreement over the weekend. Sterling's taken a dip to the downside on the back of that this morning. There was a glimmer of hope that we might get somewhere today, because it looks like they're going to get a compromise on fishing. But the Prime Minister from Ireland has said that things are critical. They're on a knife edge and it's extremely serious at the moment. So that has not been taken well by the market, and we are seeing a move lower in sterling across the board this morning. Also, President Trump, he's piling some pressure on China. He's talking about more sanctions, I believe, over the weekend. That resulted in Hong Kong stocks sliding to the downside, and we've seen quite a decent move lower in European futures this morning. Trump's attorney, Rudy, has been tested positive for coronavirus. Did watch him over the weekend at a few of these rallies, and he's still convinced that he's won. Which was quite he was shouting out, "We will carry on." And I've looked at his Twitter account last night, and he's going mad because obviously a lot of the stuff that he's doing at the moment is not getting any press coverage.
Is this Giuliani or is this
Giuliani?
Trump?
Yeah.
Right,
no, Rudy Giuliani has been tested positive for corona. Yeah, it was a Trump rally. It was all to do with the House of Senates, I believe, and trying to get these two critical seats, because if they don't get them, then they basically lose all control. So it is quite an important. He's claiming that it will be rigged anyway, but clearly. And then we've got the power drinker, as Bloomberg have called him, Mike Ashley. He's looking at taking over Debenhams this morning and saving 12,000 jobs. And then coming up, Ted Baker reports. We've got EU budget, and we've got a bit of news from European bank policy meeting. And then we've got a key summit and a European Central Bank policy meeting later this week. So it is a bit lively. Do you want me to share my screen first, Steve? And then,
yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
And then we can take it from there. Why is my screen coming up? Right, let's have a look. It's all about the dollar, really, this morning. I thought it was all going to be about the dollar last week on non-farm payroll, and it didn't happen. But we really are at sort of critical levels. This is the move up this morning. So this is the hourly chart. So we are starting to see quite a decent move. Could we say that's a double bottom? Well, potentially yes. And if it is, it's broken to the upside. If we get an extension on here, I think we've got a long way to go today. Previous swing high here, which is, let's have a look where it is. You must be joking. Which is at 91.50. 261.8% is at 91.55. So just stalling at this 161.8%, maybe getting a little bit of a breather before we burst to the upside. Now, as far as cipher patterns are concerned, that's not going to stop this rally. And if we go to a fib extension tool, let's have a look. Fib extension, not retracement. If we put a FibX, what's going on with my charts this morning? if we get a 161.8%, so basically this sort of zone here has more potential than here. And if we do get a dip down from sort of 91.55, I think it'll only be a mild one to probably form a bullish reverse head and shoulders pattern. So just flicking through the majors, we mentioned this level last week, and it's holding and turning. That was a confluence area here that we had 121.50, 121.55. I think we surpassed it. We made a 121.77 high. But as you can see, we're now trading around 121 the figure, so it's starting to move down with that dollar bias. Same thing with cable. We had really nice confluence on cable, and I tried to get on a sterling yen trade late on Friday, and I didn't because it had moved too far, and now I'm gutted basically because it really is going. We had a perfected level here, which, as you see up here, I've put 135.50. We made a 135.40 high, and it wasn't until after the fact that I saw this pattern here, which had a confluence area at 135.30, 37, and you know, this is the story this morning with cable. Dollar Swiss, 261.8% fib at 88.90. Dollar yen, again, it's a difficult one because they're both risk currencies. Dollar CAD surpassed the confluence area, which was here at 128.20. I would normally stop now and go downstairs
and beat the dog.
but as I know it's somebody.
The show must go on, The show must go on.
Somebody's knocking on the door. Well, we've got no Joe, so I'm actually going to pass it over to you, Steve.
Yeah, go on.
2 minutes.
I'll run through. I know. So Ian's going, obviously, you know, he was boring everyone anyway, so you've got me now, so that's all right. He can't hear me. So let me run through a couple of things I want to run through. Just making sure he's sharing my screen. He is. Lovely. I'm going to start with gold. Gold had a nice pullback last week. We got up to around about the level where I've been talking about, the 1848 level. That was the high of last week, and we had a sell-off late on Friday, and we can see it here. A bit of an indecisive day on the 4th, and it's been followed through this morning as well. On the oil side of things, we've had a bit of a turnaround today. We're looking like a bearish engulfing on the daily chart on that candle if we close at these levels now. This is all this sell-off has been on the back of the breakdown. Looks like it been a sort of stalemate in the talk. So we just have to sort of like see how that plays out today. Who knows? We could get a bit of a reprieve, but at the moment the Sun newspaper is saying Boris is walking away. So who would not believe the Sun?
Boris is walking away with what?
He's walking away from the talks.
Oh, from the talk. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go through that.
No, I didn't say anything funny about you when you walked away.
Oh yeah.
Don't rewatch.
I hope you didn't cuss the
dog. So the weekly chart on the FTSE. That's obviously it's positive. We had this move up to test this 65.76 level, which is
hammer though, isn't it?
61.8, but it is a hanging man, an inverted hammer or hanging man. So that's not always a positive sign. We'll have to wait and see how we get off to a start this week. But obviously, looking at the session in the last hour, since about 8 o'clock, we've seen this big sell-off. But we have posted a bullish hammer on just now. This is I broke it down to 10 minutes because I wanted to see when this hourly move actually started, and it started at 8 o'clock exactly. So looks like it's settling a little bit now. If we go on to the DAX as well, again you see these weekly levels, the resistance levels have held, so potential for maybe this week start to continue. But as I say, it's quite early days. Let's keep an eye on it. The US markets, obviously, they've seen the same sort of reversal. Obviously, and there's more talk of Trump having trade wars escalating again with China. There was talk about that this morning, and there was sort of like some sort of rhetoric out of Hong Kong as well. I think one of the Hong Kong activists fled Hong Kong to the UK, and you see Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, HSBC, blocked his accounts, sort of like because or he, not for any sort of wrongdoing or anything, but because the internal government said to sort of like freeze his accounts.
Oh, nice.
So he's decided to move away from HSBC. He didn't say where he's going. But yeah, it's just a bit worrying when you sort of think, a lot of this is it's more of a political thing. But obviously, the banks have to sort of like, if they have to listen to, the regulator in each individual country. So it's a bit of a worrying sign. Maybe good for Bitcoin. Don't know. Haven't really looked at it. What is Bitcoin doing? It was around at the 20,000 mark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's holding on. I've got a fib up there, so I don't know if you get a bit of a deeper correction at the moment.
Yeah.
But it does have a tendency to track stocks quite well as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a bit of a risk asset at the moment.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think really overall, negative start for indices, but I wouldn't get too carried away with it just yet. There's plenty of room to get onto a negative move, as we know in the past. It's very tricky to sort of trade these negative sell-offs.
Have you got anything on gold? I'm seeing a decent turnaround in the dollar this morning.
Yeah, had a little bit of a look at gold straight earlier, and we sort of like, I just highlighted the 1850 level, which 1848 level, which we actually got up to, and it's reversed quite aggressively from there. We can see it, and it's broken also below the 1830 support. It's retesting that right now. So, and again, that's sort of it felt a little bit weak overnight, but that sort of that stock move has sort of accelerated it, but it hasn't quite broke. Well, it broke the 1823 support, which is a previous swing low at 4 o'clock on the 3rd, which was last Thursday, and it's reacted quite nicely higher. So again, it feels like a bit of a weak opening to the week, but we've sort of bounced back so far.
Okay, mate. Lovely.
Don't know if we can do gun-to-head results and sort of things like that.
Well, maybe.
How did we do on Friday?
I'll have a look in a minute.
I think I did okay.
I'm just going to run through the rest of these majors, because it's horribly interrupted by my mutt. I was going to talk about dollar CAD actually, because I mentioned this on Friday and said, because it did oil on Friday, and I said I quite like this pattern, but it's completely smashed through that confluence area, which was 128.70. I mean, you could probably say that that's going to be a morning doji star, so we are moving up, but I don't think that's on Canadian weakness. I think that's purely on dollar strength. And when you look at, and I'm not going to do it now, but when you look at all the Canadian crosses, Canada looks quite weak, which does make you wonder whether or not the oil is going to turn around. But the ones that I didn't cover, Aussie yen, Aussie dollar, that just looked like it's going to break this wedge formation now, and then normally get quite an impulsive move to the downside. So I wouldn't stand in front of any of these this morning. Euro sterling, I mean, on the back of obviously weakening sterling this morning, we've broken this swing high. We really got to sort of punch out to sort of higher time frames to get any sort of decent fib levels. But that pause at 50%, if you're looking at cipher patterns, I know the correction to the downside wasn't very deep, but it will normally mean that we get up towards 88.6, which is at 92.40. So this sell-off in sterling, I think, could be quite aggressive. Euro yen, and again, mentioned this on Friday. And if you go, let's just break this down. If this is correct, then the sort of risk reward factor on a medium term play on euro yen is really good. 38.2% fib will normally mean that we'll make new lows if this high holds.
High hold.
I knew that was coming. This one here, euro yen, we've just we've nice confluence area, so that's sort of offering a potential top. And if you look to this chart here, and this is the daily chart, and this was something that we did a tweet on Friday. The risk reward there is nearly 16 to 1 to complete this crab. So it really, as far as euro yen's concerned, and a lot of the other yen crosses like sterling yen, there's a confluence area here, and it's moving aggressively now to the downside. A lot of the yen crosses are really got potential for very aggressive moves to the downside, and it does make me wonder whether or not that means that we are going to get a sustained turn in the dollar as risk appetite turns, and also whether or not stock markets are going to really take a dive lower.
What was your euro yen chart again, E? I like that.
Yeah, this is the 8-hour chart, which is coming off the top, but this is the daily chart, which means we would make new lows basically, and the target level is all the way down here, 107.60, which is how many points? 200 or 2000, isn't it? Yeah, lots and lots. Well, it's like you say, it was nearly 16 to 1 on Friday if you got in on this fib and had a stop up here. So I mean, even if you tightened your stop to the high and did today's trade, it's still about 16 to 1 if you can hold it that long. But yeah, it does look very negative for stocks, and like I said, all of these. Bloody dog this morning. It's deliveries. I don't know what your road's like, but every 10 minutes, because nobody's out shopping, there's just continuous deliveries down our road. I think if you need a job at the moment, you've got a full driving license, you're in, aren't you?
Yeah.
So this was New Zealand yen again, not far off being sort of pit perfect. And target levels are down here. They're new lows. And potentially sort of 6-month lows, even if not more. So I am really turning quite bearish, and that's why I think, if you look at this dollar index, this is a big 261.8% fib here. This is the daily chart, which means that we should get a really decent correction to the upside. Obviously hit this area here, 94.68 is probably our first resistance, and then are you going to make a reverse head and shoulders, blah 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 blah. As far as Elliott wave's concerned, this is that choppy third wave, but we're definitely getting off to a good start as far as the daily chart's concerned. And that's going to be a morning doji style, which signals a base as well. So there is a hell of a lot out there saying jump on board, I think, but it's looking nasty. So with regards to gun to the head, I've still got mine on, I think. Let's have a look. And it's all about timing, as they say. So didn't get much of a move on Friday. This was the entry level, which wasn't too far off the top. This is actually an 8-hour chart, so it doesn't look like it's gone far, but obviously it's starting to move lower this morning. What did you have, Stevie? I can't remember.
I was looking FTSE closed.
Yeah, I'm going to say. We'll let Joe do all the
malarkey. Yeah, I think I sort of
boring stuff tomorrow.
Yeah,
but can't see. Do you want? Have you got something you're going to go out?
Yeah, so I have. I'm going to go.
Your screen on.
I'm going to sell your yen, mate. You just convinced me.
You're filling your boots.
Yeah, why not? I think good risk reward. You can have quite a tight stop if you want to. I'll put this Ichimoku cloud, although it's a very weak resistance. Sort of, I'm getting on that. I'm sort of thinking here we have now a bit of a double top.
Yeah.
In place. So just on the back of that, really, don't have to.
Broke the swing low as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so nice. I can keep the stop quite tight. Could even bring it down to 35, 126.35, getting short at 126. And why not make that? Targeting a move to 124.35. Stop at 126.35, getting short at 126. I mean, I think it's trading at 126.03, but I'm quite happy to give you that 3 pips.
Very kind. Good luck. I like it.
Cheers.
What was that? Euro yen?
Euro yen, yeah.
Oh, let's choose something else then.
Well, no, you can do it as well. There's no, I haven't got
I'm
a
just going
sort
to go for that. I'm just going to go for the dollar index because I
Yeah.
think it'll add nicely to our basket. Put it that way. And obviously with that morning doji star, I don't think we're going to make new lows. So I'll pump it up here towards this swing high. In fact, I'll have a little bit of a tighter stop because that looks so impulsive, that that candle, that I don't think we're going to come back on it. 91.21, targeting 93.20. I'll have a 40 tick stop, gives me nearly 5R. So getting long of the dollar index at 91.21, stop at 90.81, targeting 93.20. Basically, Steve and I have both gone risk off, haven't we, for today?
No idea, mate. I just like look at the numbers.
Right, this is FX Street's calendar. It's what I use on a daily basis just to see what's going on. We've obviously got Squawk as well, which we find very beneficial. We get kickbacks off that, don't we?
No, we don't, mate.
Oh, God.
It's a good deal if you come through us, but we don't get any kickback at all from them. Live Squawk, that is.
Yeah. Live Squawk. So anyway, there's not a lot in the way of figures today. I think it's all going to be about Brexit. It's probably going to be about if Trump wakes up and decides to do something a bit more aggressive with China, probably. We've got Ivy Purchase Managers Index, but these are second tier figures for Canada, and then nothing really. Halifax House Price Index, which was better than expected this morning. Not good for Joe, but good for me and Steve. And overnight, we've got yen GDP, gross domestic product, basically a good gauge on how the economy is growing or not in Japan. And then we've got a bit of Australian figures, but like I said, they're all second or third tier. So not a lot to worry about. And then tomorrow we've got GDP out of Europe. So I think it's a case of today, especially if you're getting involved in sterling and euro, is to sort of listen out to the news channels if you've got them for any sort of squawks, and probably keeping a close eye on Trump's Twitter account. But apart from that, I think we're into a bit of a trend this morning, and hopefully it's going to continue.
Yeah, nice. Excellent. Well done, Ike.
Alrighty. Anything else that jumped out at you? Lovely. Welcome back, Joe, tomorrow. Sorely missed.
I heard a big cheer on YouTube then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, mate. We'll have a good one.
Have a good day. Cheers.
And speak to you tomorrow. See you, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.